What is up, guys? Welcome back to another average video. In this one today, I wanted to do a little gear review on the camera equipment that I use. I get a lot of questions on what camera I use, when I use a GoPro, if I use a Tacticam, all kinds of stuff. And so for today's video, I wanted to make sure that I could kind of clear all this up in one video. Now, I'm not using super high tech equipment. The most expensive equipment I probably have is either my drone or the GoPro Hero Max, or the GoPro Max, I think it's just called. And the GoPro Max is a very versatile camera. I've seen a lot of bad reviews on it, but I love it. I use it to vlog with. I use it to do 360 video. I use it as a gun cam sometimes because it has a decent enough zoom to like pick up the kills. I freaking love the GoPro Hero Max. So we're gonna start it off with the GoPro Max. I think it's around $500 or so, somewhere in there. Have to have a tripod for it. It sets up. Have to also have like a mount for your head or for a chesty to utilize this, or a selfie stick. I have a very long one like this that my Hero 5 is on, and this one extends way out, and this one will actually be invisible when you put it on the 360 cam. Through stitching and whatnot, it doesn't pick it up, so that's super cool. Since this is in my hand, we will go to this next. This is a GoPro Hero 5. Now this one's a refurbished one off of Amazon, and what happened was I didn't have quite the battery life that I wanted to out of the GoPro. So what I did is I bought this thing. It's made by Refuel. They make like batteries for cameras and stuff like that you don't want to buy the actual one that comes from the company because they're expensive as heck. So you buy a Refuel one, and they work amazing. This unit right here with the GoPro fully charged will last you upwards of 5 hours. I've had it on an all-day fishing tournament before, and it captured literally like 6 or 7 hours of footage. I turned it off a few times. So I have two of those cameras. This is my other GoPro. This is also a 5. I would recommend, if you were going to buy one today or in the future, getting a 7 or above. The 5 and the 6 are great, but they've come out with so many more things that you can do with them, as well as the quality is amazing. This one doesn't have 4K or anything like that, and the new ones like the Max and stuff like that have 4K image stabilization. They even have like better impact. You can submerge them farther. Audio pickup is amazing. You can't even really barely tell sometimes when I'm vlogging on this GoPro because the audio still comes out really good. So getting off of the secondary camera type stuff and getting into the main camera, I use a Canon M50. Now you might think this looks kind of weird because the lens is a little big, and what happened was I had a Canon T3i, and you guys saw the footage on that. I dropped it in the water in Lake of the Woods last year around February, I believe, and I couldn't get it to work again. So what I did was went out and purchased a Canon EOS M50, and this has been my main camera from there on. I have a tripod set up. I just don't have it on there right now because of the lens that I'm running. I usually have it on the big tripod, but I do have a handheld kind of like GorillaPod looking thing as well that I use for vlogging setups. This camera is what I basically run as camera A, basically. So like I'm always pointing it at me or getting some cinematic shots, stuff like that. It's not gonna get amazing cinematic shots, but it gets the job done for what I need it for. The only drawback to a camera such as this, mirrorless, DSLR, anything like that, is gonna be the time you can record. I know Sony came out with a few cameras that you could record for like ever and they would never shut off. This one, you start recording 14, 20 minutes into it, it's gonna shut off by itself. It's not overheating or anything, it just stops. I don't really know why they do this, but they do. So if you're thinking about putting a camera in front of you while you're fishing or something of that sort, or in the sky for a hunt or something like that, you're gonna wanna look towards the camcorder side of things. They can go forever. But Sony does come out with a few mirrorless cameras that do record continuous forever, but I think in the hunting and fishing world, a camcorder would work really well because that zoom is so far sometimes without having to change out lenses. That's the biggest thing that I hate about the camera, is having to bring along all these extra lenses if I want to do a zoom to get a shot in a field. I have to put on a zoom lens. If I want to vlog or something or talk to the camera, I have to put on a smaller lens. This one here is the Canon 15 to 45. And this one fits directly onto my M50. Now the EF mounts, I believe is what these are. This is a, I think this is a nifty 50. Yeah, this is a 50 millimeter. So this one I can't zoom or zoom in or zoom out. I can only focus. And the reason I like this one so much is any picture you take, it's gonna blur out the background. So on your iPhone or whatever, you know the mode called portrait mode, where it like blurs out the background. This is like the non-digital way to do that. This is actually the lens is blurring out the background. I don't use it quite so much for video, mainly for photo purposes. This was like $100 on Amazon. It's really cheap, but I needed something that I could take some cool photos with and have that blurry, nice depth of field and stuff like that. So that's my big camera setup. What I have on there right now is an 18 to 55. This one seems to work really well when I have it sitting on the tripod in front of me. Doing this type of a setup. So that's kind of why I ran this. I had this lens on, but I can't get quite enough light into it to actually pick up my face and all that stuff. So I think this lens works a lot better. This is also a EF mount that came off of my older camera that got dropped in the water. Other than that, I have a drone as well. I have the DJI Mavic Mini and I love it. I think they just came out with the Mavic Mini 2, but the one I have now is great. The only problem I've had with it is the props seem to bend really easily, and if they do, it won't thrust quite right, so you'll get an error every time you fly it. I haven't actually seen like a difference in the flight. I just have an error that pops up on the screen every once in a while. Not a big deal. It does kind of make you worry a little bit when you do start to get it really high in the air or really far away, and that error pops up. You kind of, oh my God, and like kind of worry about it, but I haven't had a full problem with it yet. So that's my camera setup. If you guys have any other questions on what I run or what I edit with or anything like that, be sure to let me know in the comments. I really like doing these videos. Like I've said in the other videos, I'm really intrigued with videography, as well as like YouTube and stuff and all the, you know, the YouTube platform and everything like that, making videos. So let me know your questions or anything like that. I'm happy to help. Oh, also I forgot, I run a external mic on my camera, my big camera. It doesn't pick up audio amazing. It's good enough if you can't run an external, but this one's just a little Rode. There's not power to it. It's just got the aux cord and you just plug it right into the side. Now, the one thing I would say, if you guys are looking for cameras, make sure that it has a way to connect an external microphone. They make a lot of like wireless mics. They make a lot of just normal ones. I think this was 40 bucks, 50 bucks, and it seems to do the trick perfectly. I have like a dead stock over it right now, just because most of the time I'm outside in the wind. Other than that, I hope this kind of helped. I hope this was kind of interesting for some people. Like I said, I'm not an expert at all, but I do like hearing different comments or trying to help, or even if you guys have any tips for me, make sure to leave those below as well. So we will see you in the next one. Tomorrow, I might be going ice fishing. I'm not quite sure yet, but I hear there's enough ice a little ways north, so I might be driving and doing a little ice fishing. So I'm really excited about that. But yeah, without further ado, we will see you guys in the next one. Peace.